It is total maintenance keeps you cool. RollAC.com, the cool spots. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums.
Normally, I would not want to hear the Arthur Fonzarelli Happy Days theme, but because it's Friday, I'm glad to hear it. Corey Johnson back at you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program, to be exact. Fired up about that? Yeah, you right. Where's Mr. Drew Brees when you need him? Ah, there he is, bailing us out. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees. It is, in fact, New Orleans, Louisiana, and it's a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You got to love that. Coming up in the 5 o'clock power hour, Frank Brightson will join us. I love decompressing on a Friday in the 5 o'clock hour, talking food with Frank. Great weather day, great weekend, 70s to low 80s all weekend. Then next week, check this out. Tuesday, the low is 56. Wednesday, the low is 48. Thursday, the low 45, and it ain't no jive. We got a cool front rolling in. Hey, I'm fired up. I love Fridays because Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. joins us. It's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. All they do is grow, and that means all they do is hire. If you're looking for a job, East Bankers, West Bankers, they got you covered at their Elmwood facility. If you live on the North Shore, Latrim has a facility off of I-12. Go to latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. It's not like 2 or 3 job openings either. Dozens and dozens and dozens of job opportunities at latrim.com. Latrim.com. Yeah, this segment with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. every Friday. Brought to you by Latrim. Michael, what's happening?
Oh man, it's been a busy week, locally and abroad. A lot of good and a lot of not so good. But we made it to Friday, right?
No, and that's the key. So we don't have to talk about Israel and Hamas. We don't have to talk about the state of Maine shooting. And we don't have to talk about Monday's pileup on I-55. Just keep all those people in your thoughts and prayers for sure.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I did all that Monday through Thursday. I did all that already.
No, it's time for a mental health break and talk about some of the good stuff that's going on.
Nah, I'm beat up. I'm bludgeoned. I feel like someone hooked me to the back of a car and drove me around the parking lot. I'm like hooked to the back bumper. I need to. And then a good weekend in New Orleans. What we do best, Michael. We're excellent at the Friday 5 p.m. to Monday 9 a.m. stuff. We are the best.
World class, particularly now. It's interesting how every year you can count on it. October 15th, the weather just becomes gorgeous. It happens, literally overnight. It seems.
No, you're right. We jettison 86 that summer, and we fade into the non-summer season. My sister lives in Charlottesville, about 2 hours outside of D.C. They literally get, Michael, 90 days of summer, 90 days of spring, 90 days of fall, 90 days of winter. It's 3 months at a pop, and then they're into the next season, and they really kind of touch on all 4. We get hot and humid summer for 6 months and not hot and humid summer for 6 months.
That's right. Except when it's hot and humid at Christmas time. Winter's
about 2 weeks long, and I guess spring's like 2 weeks long. That's about it. The summer and non-summer season. Anyway, you ready to jump into all this stuff on a Friday?
Let's do it, brother. We can do a few minutes of, I wouldn't call it a speed round, but let's hit the highlights.
What I got you till 4:28?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because I got, Mike, I hope you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got at least 8, 10 topics.
5 minutes per topic, we'll get there.
All right, yeah, let's do it. All right, first and foremost, Ann Kirkpatrick, new police chief. That is in the rearview mirror. The council approved it. It's a done deal.
Yeah, and it's one of these things, Corey, where I'm not quite sure how it happened, but we ended up with, I think, the right person. Every interaction that I've had with her, everybody that I talked to about the chief, seems to echo that she's a person who has the experience, has the temperament, and people are excited. I was at a luncheon she was speaking at a few days ago, and somebody said, Chief, how do you feel about being an outsider coming in here? And she said, well, first of all, I'm an outsider every time I come into a city, so I'm used to that. He said, the difference is that a lot of the cities that I come into, they don't like the cops and they don't like each other. And said, here in New Orleans, yeah, you're crazy, you've got your problems, but you actually support the police and you actually love each other. And that's a very different environment to come into. And you know what? I was like, yeah, man, if you asked me to come and do this job in Oakland versus doing it in New Orleans, it's an easy choice, 10 out of 10.
It's kind of Willie Fritz at Tulane type of thing, too. And Kirkpatrick's not a spring chicken. She's about 60, 62. So like Willie Fritz. It's not like a 35-year-old looking to hop to the next big city job. I'm not saying Ann Kirkpatrick ends her career in New Orleans, but I think Ann Kirkpatrick is ready to settle into New Orleans, isn't sending out resumes, is looking at this job to get something accomplished. Two things I would say, Michael, that are first and foremost. I mean, I'm talking macro, not micro, like violent crime and things like that. But two things first and foremost is get New Orleans off this consent decree and lower the overall crime rate, which we're already going in that direction.
Yeah, and part of that too is just continuing the positive momentum on recruiting. Looks like this year we're going to end up just about break even or a little bit better. That's an improvement over last year where we lost 120.
Yeah.
And then I think the chief said she wants to do 3 recruiting classes of 50. That would be 150. If we can do that and keep attrition down below 10%, we can actually begin to really, build this back. So, I'm cautiously optimistic that our darkest days are behind us and that we can have slow but sustained improvement over time.
I think we have to look at every police force in America over the last decade or so. I'm sure some started the trend decades ago, and I'm talking about getting police officers that are boots on the street, that make arrests, that are street cops, getting them away from crap that bogs them down, like filling out paperwork or just stuff that they don't need to be doing. You don't have Drew Brees, cleaning up the weight room. You have him, getting ready for the next game. You want the street cops out on the street. I think as many civilians, Michael, that can take these, I don't want to say menial things. They're all important, but the cops, they're like a talent. You don't want them bogged down filling out paperwork every day.
That's right. And look at it, and that's not why cops joined the force either, right? They didn't join the force to fill out paperwork or be behind a desk. So I think what I like about talking to Chief Kirkpatrick is that clearly she understands that. She supports the use of technology. She supports civilianization. She seems to be very open to partnerships. All these things that we need to simultaneously do to work our way out of the fix that we're in.
Yep.
So, and I'm proud of the NOLA coalition. There were 2 things that we advocated hard for. One was a national search, and the other one was making sure that we double the pay of the police chief. And, had we not done those 2 things and had the mayor and the council not supported, we wouldn't have Chief Kirkpatrick. So, we'll see what happens, but I think that falls squarely into the good news category right now.
Hey, a couple of federal funding things, funding to fight violent crime, right?
Yeah, it's a couple mil that are coming in. And what I like about this, and again, it's part of the NOLA coalition agenda, is I was talking to Chief Surpass. You remember Ronald Surpass? A few months ago when we were having these terrible times with response times. And I said to the chief, what do you think about improving response times? And he said, look, it's important. Obviously, it's not acceptable to have 2-hour response times, but you got to realize, Michael, that no matter how quick the response time is, it's still too late. Something bad has happened to somebody. He said, we really have to focus on what do we do to diffuse situations and prevent crimes before they happen. That's really where the efficient money is.
Oh, no, you're right. That's first, and then the response times are second, but you got to work on both at the same time. I mean, New Orleans response time could be anywhere from 20 minutes to several hours. In Jefferson Parish, it's under 10. In Kenner, it's under 2 minutes. It's like 90 seconds. So you can't have the fire at the house and 3 children dying because 911 response time was a little slow. You should have had cops within blocks of that area pulling out of the parking lot of some establishment they're just sitting there in and beelining over there right away like they do in Kenner and Jefferson and other places. Instead, we don't have that. We don't have enough vehicles on the street. But that's where that civilianization thing comes in. Hey, Michael, hang on. I want to talk about hardening the grid and a bunch of other stuff. Michael Heck's with us from Greater New Orleans.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right, Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Michael Hex with us from Greater New Orleans saying, all right, Michael, I got 10 topics. We went through 2 in half the time.
All right.
We're going way too slow. It's usually my fault instead of, Michael, what are you doing for dinner tonight? It's like, Michael, food is a concept that human beings. And then I ask you the question. So I'll try to do my part better, all right?
Hey, right now you're not doing very well.
I'm doing my usual BS nonsense thing. Hardening the grid.
Yeah, this is great. So this is a big, I think it's $55 million grant that Entergy is getting to match the work that they're doing on basically updating the infrastructure that they have so that, next time there's a big storm, towers don't come down. And, people want to talk about, we're going to bury the lines and, this and that. The reality is that the 2 things that this grant pays for, which is more updated, stronger equipment and putting in microgrids with battery storage, that's probably the best we're going to do. So I'm glad they got the money for it. And, it's going to be kind of this continual race with what Mother Nature throws at us. But certainly stronger infrastructure and battery-powered microgrids are part of our mitigation strategy.
I kept pushing burying the lines post-Katrina and elevating the interstate like Miami post-Katrina, but no one cared to listen. I know it's expensive. Oshner and Team Gleason never punt, Miguel.
Never punt. I love this one. So we've got this strategy called NeuroNola, which is all about us becoming the MD Anderson of dementia, basically a place that can save lives, but also create tons of jobs because we become the place that people come to, just like you go to Houston for cancer care. And a big part of that is that they just are starting the Bobby Patrick Center for Neuroscience out there right on Jeff Highway across the campus back behind Republic. And now they're going to put Team Gleason inside that with a facility that's going to basically mimic the inside of a home so that people who have ALS can work with different new technologies to understand how to live using technology when they lose some of their motor function. So I love this because, 2, absolute world-class organizations in Ochsner and Team Gleason, and the fact that they're not getting together makes perfect sense and takes our NeuroNola concept a step forward.
I'll never forget when I first got into sports, I said Al Kaline because I had no idea who Al Kaline was at the time. I was 23 years old. And I'll never forget that because I got ripped. And then I called this rapper dude N-A-Z, and everybody's like, Nas? I'm like, I don't know who it is. And exactly. And then
the best one is that we were at Guns N' Roses a few years ago in Louisville with my dad for his 75th birthday, and and it wasn't going too well. And my dad turns to me in the middle of the show and he says, "Alex doesn't sound so good." I said,
old Alex Rose.
Alex Rose has had a hard life, Dad.
Exactly, Dad. Alex Rose is fairly beat up. I think it was DJ Khaled, whatever, that I screwed up the other day. So I'm just going to say AXOSIM, this local business acquired, because I'm not going to butcher how you pronounce that.
Oh, it's just Axosim. That's pretty phonetic.
I was going to say Axosim, but then I was like, it's probably Axosim, and I'm just not going to do it.
This is a great story. Local firm that has technologies that kind of mimics experimentation on animals without using animals. So it's quicker, less expensive, more humane. And the good news is that they've actually acquired a company up in, I think, Minnesota. And so this is not the usual thing about one of our good companies getting acquired and us maybe losing them. It's the opposite. If one of our great companies acquiring another and continuing to grow. So Lowry Curley runs it. He came out of NOBIC, the New Orleans Bioinnovation Center. It's a really nice story.
Where is Axosim based? Like, where are they headquartered?
They are, so they were in NOBIC down on Canal Street, and I think they've moved out to UNO, but I'm not sure. I think they might be at the beach at UNO.
And how many employees, Michael, you think?
Is it?
How many employees do you think they have?
They have about 50 right now, and now they're going to grow because of this acquisition.
Now, will they shut down Minneapolis, or will they keep it open? Will they bring those jobs here? How's that going to work?
The plan right now is to keep it open. They're going to use that space up there because they've got some laboratory space they want to use. But, inevitably, when you have the headquarters, there's a certain kind of, magnetic effect. And definitely the C-suite comes down, and usually more jobs end up accruing. So it's overall a really positive story.
I don't even know what it's called anymore. What is it, Lucent in Monroe?
The one in Monroe. So it was.
Is that Lucent?
No, Lucid is down here, bought by Cint.
No, Lucent.
Oh, Lucent. No, it's not Lucent. They were bought by a company out of Denver.
No, exactly. But what worries me is that they still appear to be very much into Monroe and are splitting it back and forth with Denver. Like Denver hasn't acquired all the Monroe jobs.
No. It's been more stable than I feared it was.
Exactly.
And that's because, they've done a good job up there with La Tech. And I think what they probably realize is that, you got a very loyal employee base there, very talented, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than Denver.
Yeah, so-and-so Tel. What was it before? Something Tel? Okay.
Yeah.
Just a great story. It's a Fortune 500 company based out of Monroe, Louisiana. Anyway, it's you want our companies acquired, but you want them to keep the jobs here. And then when we acquire the ones elsewhere, we'd like to bring more jobs here. The National Talent Collaborative, how did that go last week?
It went great. This is a group of folks with national foundations with, big companies like Boeing, and they're getting together to try to work on how we basically rewrite national legislation on workforce, which is outdated, doesn't incent the right types of behavior, doesn't train people for the right jobs. The first meeting was in D.C. last week. We asked if we could host the second meeting, so we had about 35 of the top workforce people in the country here. And then the next meeting is going to be up in New York City next year. So I like, one, that we're working on workforce at the national level. But I also like the fact that, if you think about where this group is meeting, they chose D.C., New Orleans, and New York. It puts us up in that number.
Like the AXOSIM, I'm just going to spell this, Obatala.
Obatala.
Yeah, Obatala. Obatala. I didn't want to screw that one up. Obatala. What is this biotech startup all about?
So Obatala is Trivia Frazier. She's fantastic, and their technology is, I think they call it nerve on a chip, and basically it's a way of working on, isolating and working on nerves and cells in I don't know. Let's go to the next question. It's Obatala.
Well, you lost me a while back on the things that act like animals. NOLA MusicCon.
Well, this was great. So I actually DJ'd the final event of this last night.
That wasn't great. Tell us about the great part.
The great part was that DJ Jazzy Jeff spoke for an hour and a half earlier in the day. He's one of the great pioneers of hip hop, and it was a conference of about 100 people from the music industry coming together, talking about what the future of the music industry is going to be, including things like blockchain and Web3. And what we're trying to do is basically recreate what South by Southwest used to be in Austin, but have it have a new home here in New Orleans. And in fact, one of our organizers, Melissa O'Brien, was one of the original organizers from South by Southwest.
Hey, Michael, 504 Golf, we mentioned, appears to be a go. I saw some heavy equipment being moved around, some machinery. Looks like they got the go, lending, everything's in place. Top Golf appears to be a go. Golf's so important. First off, I think both can work. 504 Golf's going to be more of a local entity, I think. Top Golf's going to be kind of locals and a lot of tourists because of its location. The River District, Top Golf, the Shell announcement, this thing's starting to go. It could be about $1 billion, right?
Yeah, I'm so excited about the River District, Corey. Now that Shell has made the announcement, I think it's got real legitimacy, real momentum.
Yep.
It's one of the most exciting new neighborhoods in the country. If you ever go to D.C., it'll be like the Wharf down in D.C., a live, work, play area.
Yep.
And, somebody a real estate agent was complaining that they were moving out of the Hancock Whitney building, the one Shell Square, And I said, dude, let me tell you two things. One is you had two choices, either Shell moving to the River District or Shell moving to Houston. So you decide. Which one do you want?
No, it's like Chevron going to the North Shore. You take that all day long. I mean, can't complain about that. Hey, Michael, just sort of arbitrary. NBA's back, Pelicans crank back up. Love having NBA. Love having two major pro sports teams in the city. You could care less about sports. This is great. It's just, like you always say, punching above our weight and just marketing and promotion that you cannot put a price tag on.
No, that's right. I mean, you look at what we're going to get out of the Super Bowl 59 next year, and it's it's priceless. And so, no, it's very important that we maintain both teams. It's very important we support, particularly the Pelicans. They're, the basketball is always going to be the one that's a little bit more difficult in this market. The Saints are basically a religion, but it's enormous to have both of them. And I hear that Zion is looking fit and looking tight, and hopefully, he stays healthy, and we have a great season.
Before we let you go, Michael, final question. We knocked them all out. That triple grand slam home run, that big announcement, still looking good for maybe January?
I think so. We're trying to get them to agree on a site. I think we're competing against two other cities or them staying put. But so it's kind of where it usually is right now. I'm feeling, I wouldn't say confident, but I'm feeling like we're in good position. We've done everything we're supposed to do. We've made the business case. We've shown them a great site. So, I'm, cautiously optimistic.
Michael Heck, Greater New Orleans Inc. Thanks so much, man. Love having you on the program.
What was that, Henry? Oh, Corey. Henry said you could come over. You can have any one of the cars you want, but just one.
All right, I'll pick just one. Deal. Thank you so much. Michael Heck, Greater New Orleans Inc. We'll see you next Friday.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe, in the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you every single day. This program's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Whether you're checking us out on the radio, oh so fine, 93.9 FM. Make that one of your presets, oh so fine, 93.9 FM. Or maybe you're checking us out on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM, 600 AM, carrying the show from Baton Rouge up and down the I-10, I-12 corridor through southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, all the way to Pensacola, Florida, 600 AM. Maybe you're checking out the program with our live streaming, CoreyTalks.com via the website, CoreyTalks.com. Also live streaming on YouTube. We're broadcasting now live on YouTube every day, 4 to 6 live. Our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program simulcast on television. Cox Channel 4 TV, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and beyond. Anywhere Cox Television is in Louisiana, I'm there. Weekdays, Cox Channel 4, starting at 4 p.m. You Charter Communications subscribers, a.k.a. Spectrum. Spectrum Channel 333. Spectrum Channel 333. From 4 to 5:30 weekdays, the first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program simulcast on television. It's all brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. When you're looking for a Ford vehicle, why would you go anywhere else? Seriously, people come from around the region, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Jackson, Mississippi, Alabama, Panhandle of Florida. They drive by a few dozen Ford dealerships to get to the big store, Lamarck Ford, for over 45 years. Lamarck Lincoln, number 1 Lincoln dealership in the state of Louisiana. Ronnie Lamarck, Ronnie Jr., doing you right out in Kenner, the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner, home of the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Ford, Lincoln, pre-owned service, collision, repair, parts, taking care of you. Now, you think they'd be slowing down? They're just getting started. They scooped up the legendary Ford truck dealership across the parish on Jefferson Highway. That's right, Crescent City Ford. The Ford truck dealership. Commercial trucks and vans like no one else. Go check out their inventory. Still on Jefferson Highway. A fairly new building. Crescent City Ford, probably about 10 years old, a new building. Ronnie Lamarck and his son Ronnie Jr. acquiring the legendary local Ford truck dealership. Yeah, Crescent City Ford now under the Lamarck umbrella. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Harahan on Jefferson Highway. By the way, Crescent City Ford services all Ford vehicles, cars, trucks, SUVs. You don't have to go to Kennebrah if Elmwood's more convenient for you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. About 83 degrees right now. Lots of low 70s to start our day. We get into about this 80, 81, 82, but really nice weather. 70s throughout the weekend, really sunny, fading into money, sunny and nice. Monday, I should say. Tuesday, the low is 56. Wednesday, the low is 48. Thursday, the low is 45. The high temperature Wednesday, 60. Like Wednesday's going to be 50s and cold. Same with Thursday. Yeah, you're right. Some mosquito killing weather. We need it. We need it. Fox 8, Lee Zurich, the investigative crew over there doing their job. Checking out the mayor's text messages. Apparently, the mayor uses a lot of police escorts when going to concerts, Essence Fest. Like besides her usual crew, a driver, another vehicle sometimes. I was picking up a to-go order at Lillette Restaurant one day. I parked right there. I'm waiting for my to-go order. All of a sudden, an SUV pulls up like a big Suburban with the blacked out windows. 2 cops come out, 2 NOPD officers. They just get out of the vehicle and stand on the sidewalk. About 10 minutes later, a second SUV pulls up, 2 more cops and the mayor. The mayor gets out by herself and goes and sits at an outside table where 3 other people are already waiting for her. 4 cops standing out there, 2 SUVs. I'm like, what's going on? This is just ridiculous. Are there more people coming? Is Lillette closed for the night? And I got lucky to get it to go and there's some big event going on? Is it a police event? What? Why all the police? 4 cops. No, the mayor will have that type of entourage and then like motorcycle cops leading the SUV. The SUV with the police lights, not enough. Not her driving herself, but an SUV taking her to a concert or an event and then having the police motorcycles. I mean, just absolutely bonkers. It's like you're dealing with a child with Mayor Cantrell. Just taking advantage of every little petty thing possible. And then like, hey, y'all, let's get a couple of cops on motorcycles. Like she thinks like she's the Secretary of State or some ambassador or president of a country. Just insane. It's insane. Just the mentality, the entitlement mentality, the fantasy land she's living in as mayor. She knows that 15 minutes of fame is going to be up in 2 years and it's back to the regular grind. And she's like, my God, I haven't had a real job in decades. Community leader, post-Katrina, council person, mayor, living on someone else's dime. And she blew it with the nonprofit. She might have been able to pull the nonprofit gimmick. Some nonprofit that pulls $300,000-400,000 in donations a year. She pulls about 90% of it in salary. Nonprofit does little to nothing. But she pulled $1 million+ bucks from the Wisner Fund because she's greedy and put it in her nonprofit, got popped. OIG discovered it. They had to give the $1 million back. So the nonprofit thing's not going to work. She screwed that one up. Real people that have real businesses aren't going to hire her because she's not going to bring in business. I remember Mark Morial got hired. Mark Morial's sister got hired. Or daughter, I forget. I guess it was, no, I'm sorry. It was Bill Jefferson's daughter. Bill Jefferson's daughter, Mark Morial, after his mayor, both get hired at like a law firm. After a year, Mark Morial's Urban League in New York, I mean, the law firm's not getting any money, any work out of Mark Morial. It didn't bring in business at all. They mutually agreed to part ways. Didn't work at all for the law firm. Same thing with Bill Jefferson's daughter. After about a year, they're like, you're not doing any work and you're not bringing in any work. It's pointless. You know, Prescott hired former Mayor Bartholomew because he knew cities and HRI was going in other cities. It's 25 years later. He still works for HRI. If he didn't bring money into that company, Prescott would have 86 Bartholomew 25 years ago. He brings something to the table. Otherwise, a private entity isn't going to keep you around for poops and giggles. No, the mayor knows her 15 minutes of fame is up. Get in as many free meals and junkets and, using police. More police escorting the mayor to like a concert at Essence Festival. I'm not making this up. Then police are in some entire districts in New Orleans. So when you see 3 children die in a fire, I don't know, was the mayor that night using extra police to go get a to-go order from Lillette or get to, a steakhouse quick or not have to worry about parking or get an escort to get through traffic? Who knows? No, it's unethical, immoral, low integrity. You want to get religious, sinful behavior. It's just pathetic. It's petty. Ray Nagin used to do it, the free meals. When you get confronted about it, I'm eating with my wife in Ebley. Someone comes up and says, "Hey, Mayor," and starts talking to me about something about the city. What am I supposed to do? Pay for that meal myself? Yes. Pay for it yourself. It's not official city business because someone walked up and started talking to you. Just this, when you're trying to justify using someone else's money, it's best you use your own money. Have a little pride, a little honor, respect, integrity. I remember when I was running for council at large. If I were to win, I get a policeman to drive me around in a Suburban and a cell phone. I've got my own car. I don't need a cop. And I got my own cell phone. I wouldn't have taken any of them. I mean, just ridiculous. Council people don't need a Suburban and a cop driving them around. It's a part-time job. It's a waste of city funds. They don't even need a city cell phone. It's not 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 6 cents every minute, Come on. Some good news. In 12 minutes, Fausto's Italian Bistro opens for the night. And since it's Friday, they'll go till 10 p.m. Sit at the bar, check out sports action, sit inside, get a to-go order, dine outside with this weather, white tablecloth, outdoor dining. The city's best Sicilian and Italian tonight. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana. Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Yeah, you're right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 5 o'clock power hour, just moments away. 5 o'clock whistle, always brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City, coming your way. I love the 5 o'clock whistle. It's like they're blowing that whistle. The workers are heading out of the plant, out of the facility. Got one arm wrapped around their lunch pail, the other around their hard hat. They're done. They punched out. The 5 o'clock whistle has gone off. That means 100% of the work week is in the books. And 100% of the weekend is in front of us. We're getting there. We're not there yet. About 10 minutes away from the 5 o'clock whistle, always brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Fantasy Friday, great weather weekend, cold front coming in next week, down into the high 40s, could be high 30s. It's mid to high 40s in the middle of next week on the South Shore, high 30s on the North Shore, I would assume. Fox 8, Lee Zurich, mayor using police escorts to go to concerts. More police with the mayor going to a concert than in some crime districts that have a violent crime problem. The mayor with the priorities, just, it's all about herself. It's sad. It's really sad and pathetic. And in typical New Orleans fashion, you probably got like 1 out of 3 New Orleanians that, I like the mayor. And then out of the 1 out of 3, half of them like the mayor just because everybody else doesn't, and they know that she's not good. So they're just contrary. And the other half are just delusional. You know, a lot of folks are children in Louisiana. Adults act like children, believe what we want to believe what we hope is true, not where the facts lead us, not rational, reasonable, common sense conclusions, but like children, what I hope and want to believe, not what is. Not what is. So no, you have a lot of delusional people that think LaToya Cantrell's like a viable public official and leader and elected official. I mean, just delusional. It's like the same equal and opposite group that thinks Louisiana is going to move forward because we've elected Jeff Landry as governor. My God. I mean, what do you think a better chance? We become like Texas, Georgia, or Florida, or Jeff Landry's like an Edwin Edwards, John Alario type, enriching himself and his friends and family. What's the better chance? I mean, it's not even close. If you had Vegas odds, you'd have to put down, $1,000 to win $100 if you were betting on setting up the friends and family and all that. And it would be the opposite if moving the state forward like Texas, Georgia, Florida. Put down 100 to win 1,000 or 10,000. You're joking, right? I mean, seriously. There's not even a question on this. What's the better chance? I mean, you have full Republican control in D.C. with Louisiana, in Baton Rouge with Louisiana. Jeff Landry, the governor, everything he wants to do, he's going to get green lighted on. What's the better chance in 4 years, 6 years, might get reelected to 2 terms, 8 years from now, that Louisiana is moving in the direction of Texas, Georgia, Florida, as far as economy and young people moving here? Or Jeff Landry's more like Edwin Edwards and John Alario, just setting up himself, his friends, and his family? What's the better chance of happening? Please. It's not even close. He's already got a history of setting up friends and family. Already has a history of that. I mean, I'd like to get $5,000 a month in free money. I'd like to get 60, 70 grand. Might be north of $5 grand. It's about $1,500 a week when he was on that Harvey Marine board, never voting, never going to a board meeting, just free money and taking it as attorney general up until about 6 months ago. And then this staffing agency in Lake Charles that his brother and he have that still exists, setting up hundreds of jobs at a time for the liquefied natural gas industry in Lake Charles, and they don't hire Louisiana workers that want the job, that need the job, qualified for the job. They shouldn't have the staffing agency to begin with. If they hired Louisiana workers, they'd be making a lot of money doing nothing. But they're super greedy. Landry and his brother import Mexican workers that they can work longer, less benefits. Import Mexican workers to Lake Charles for Louisiana jobs so they can make a bigger profit. This isn't just my opinion and what I think. Go to Yahoo or Google. Go to NOLA.com, 46826. This is fact, common knowledge. So you already have a John Alario, Edwin Edwards, mentality with Jeff Landry. Now he's about to be governor. So Jeff Landry, his friends and his family, they're all going to get in, except his gay brother, who he does not acknowledge. Yeah, our governor's homophobic. Like Bill Johnson, the Speaker of the House. It is 2023. Bill Johnson, congressman, elected from Louisiana, is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and he thinks homosexuality is a lifestyle choice. That it is a choice, like lifestyle, like, I like to go sailing. I like the nightlife. I dine out a lot. I like live music. My lifestyle consists of these choices I make. I like to travel. I like to be homosexual. I like to be a homosexual. I like to be gay. I mean, lifestyle choice. Thinks homosexuality is a choice. Is heterosexuality a choice? So basically, Bill Johnson saying he could be put in like a closet like Patty Hearst and brainwashed into being gay. That's what he's saying indirectly. That's what our Speaker of the House thinks. Homosexuality is a choice. Jeff Landry doesn't acknowledge his gay brother. It's 2023. Those probably aren't positives when it comes to leadership in Louisiana. Shouldn't even be brought up probably, but they like bringing it up. What's that, Blue Boy? 5 o'clock power hour next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family. From the town of Bedrock.
It's amazing if you go to YouTube and you look up some of these orchestras doing cartoon music, like 50 musicians doing Johnny Quest or Flintstones or Jetsons. They took it seriously back in the 60s. None of this digitalized garbage. Real musicians being able to play instruments, proficient at the instruments. I don't know. I love musicians. You pop in the Maple Leaf almost any night on Oak Street, you'll see people that really can play the instruments that they have in their hands. Been playing them for years, decades, practice all the time. It is part of their life, their vocation, who they are. New Orleans has so much talent, so many great musicians. It's art. I mean, I can listen to music sometimes and almost get like teary-eyed or almost like laughing because I'm like, wow, the brilliance, the talent, the creativity. How did they think of this? How did they do this? Just amazing. Talent on display. I'll tell you what, social media pretty much is a waste of time. YouTube is one of the best things around. And YouTube's not really social media. I mean, in some ways it is. My show right now is on YouTube Live. But what I like about YouTube, you can pretty much put in that search bar anything you want. Jack Nicklaus, 1 iron at U.S. Open, AC/DC in Australia, 1982 live concert, Howard Hughes' speech to the Maine senator during that commission hearing after World War II, after World War I, back in the 30s. I mean, I can go on and on. It's whatever you want, whatever's out there that's been, archived somewhere, it's now on YouTube. And that's just fantastic. The weirdest thing in the world? I use Venmo. It's under like the PayPal umbrella, I guess, to transfer money to people that you might owe money. Now, it is a money site. It's hooked to your bank account, and you can transfer money to other people that have a Venmo account and vice versa. Venmo so desperately wants to be a social media site. I couldn't believe this, but when you get on Venmo, why they even have these settings is mind-blowing to me. You just think it would be a money thing like PayPal, and the transactions are 100% private. Instead, they have settings, and the default setting is everybody sees your transaction. They don't see the amount of money, but they see Corey Johnson paid Bill Magoo lawn service, whatever. Corey Johnson paid Bill Magoo dog food, whatever it might be. Thank goodness, like my first week on Venmo, I sent my sister something. She's like, I see all your other transactions. I'm like, what are you talking about? So there's 3 settings. The default setting is everyone sees your transactions on Venmo. The second setting is only people you associate with see your transactions on Venmo. And the third setting, the last option, which of course I clicked on, private. No one sees any of my transactions on Venmo. Why would I want anyone anywhere to know Corey Johnson paid Bill Magoo for lawn service, painting the house, dropping off groceries, washing my car, cutting my grass, bringing over pine straw for the garden? I mean, just insane. It's crazy. Uber, food. I don't do any of that. They're just trying to bring up examples. Why would anyone want anyone else seeing their transaction? Not the money part, but just you paid XYZ. It's crazy. I'm not thinking about hookers or drugs or any of that. Anyone that puts that on there, Brenda, hooker, Fred Magoo, crack cocaine delivery. I mean, you get what you deserve. But just anything. Bought a television set, whatever. Tickets to the game. Who wants? Corey paid Bill Magoo for Saints tickets. Corey paid Bill Magoo for television set. Why would that be out there for the public to see? What is Venmo thinking? They want to be a social media site. It's insane. Default setting, everyone sees your transactions. Second setting, only people you associate with see them. Third setting, private, no one sees it. Why would there be the first two settings? Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I don't get it. I do get that the 5 o'clock whistle just went off. You missed it. We blew the 5 o'clock whistle. We do it every single Friday, a Fantasy Friday. We do it during the 5 o'clock power hour, a little bit after 5 p.m. It represents something very important. 100% of the work week in the books, 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of us. I love this very time period of the week. We put the spotlight on it. We smell the roses. We blow the 5 o'clock whistle. It's always brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Want to check out Pelicans, Tulane, LSU, Alabama next week, Saints in Indianapolis. Want to check out Saints football? Want to check out Pelicans? Whatever you want to check out when it comes to sports, it'll be on the big screens at Katie's in Mid-City. Why go to a sports bar and have mediocre to crappy food when you can go to Katie's, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a real neighborhood restaurant and bar, New Orleans-style food, big portions, great for sharing, a taste of New Orleans, what you want, what you like. And then they just happen to have a bunch of big flat-screen TVs all across Katie's in Mid-City. Saints action, Tulane, LSU, Pelicans, college football Saturday, NFL Sunday, Katie's in Mid-City. As New Orleans as it gets. Iberville, corner Talamacus. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday. Appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Yeah, you, right. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Outstanding weekend. 70s. Might hit like 80 like what we got right now. Tomorrow, Sunday, sunny, great. Monday, little bit of a cool down. We'll wake up. It'll be around 63. Tuesday, a little bit more of a cool down. We'll wake up on the South Shore. It'll be 56 degrees, mid-50s Tuesday morning. Wednesday, even better. Waking up to the high 40s on the South Shore. And on Thursday morning, waking up to the mid-40s. That means you North Shore folks, Wednesday maybe, Thursday for sure, high 30s. Wow. The high temperature on Wednesday, we might get to 60. We might get to 60. Wednesday, we wake up, it's 48, high temperature, maybe 60. Lots of 50s on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Fantastic. A cold front for at least us. Maybe not for Minneapolis, but for us. It's coming in next week. Yeah, you right weather. And this weekend, fantastic. No rain, sunny, 70s. We might hit 80 for a high each day. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just cold front rolling in. And next weekend, like this one, but about 5, 8, 10 degrees cooler. Yeah, you right. Tough to beat. Really tough to beat. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You know it's tough to beat? Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. Taking care of you, New Orleans, for over 50 years. Everyone knows when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. They will steer you in the right direction. High quality Benjamin Moore paint. Helm Paint and Decorating. Like I painted my house about a year ago. Paint it once, never, ever paint it again. Lifetime Benjamin Moore paint. No, Helm Paint and Decorating, steering you in the right direction. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, Mandeville, Hammond. They got you covered. Plus, free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans. And hey, check this out. Baton Rouge, Tiger Town. You're hearing me right. Helm Paint and Decorating. 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations. 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Metro Baton Rouge. And just like New Orleans, free 2-hour delivery in Metro Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge, you got a high-quality paint store that's been doing New Orleanians right for over 50 years. They're going to do you right. You'll see when it's time to paint New Orleans, when it's time to paint in Baton Rouge. Helm Paint and Decorating. Corey Johnson with you. Frank Brightson joins us next.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Leidenheimer Baking Company has been baking that Leidenheimer French bread you love in New Orleans since 1896. Over 125 years. You'll probably be enjoying some Leidenheimer French bread tonight or over the weekend. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 5 o'clock power hour. Great weekend in front of us weather-wise. Cold front coming in for next week. Yeah, you right. I love this very segment of the week. About 5:20 on Friday. Doesn't get much better for me than this. Get to decompress. Talk about good stuff that we love, like eating and food in New Orleans. And doing it with the master, one of the best in the business, New Orleans' own, James Beard Award-winning chef. He's had his own restaurant for almost 40 years. He's been cooking for over 50. Frank Brightson joins us again. What's up, Frank?
Well, yeah, KJ. TGIF.
Thank goodness, huh?
Yes, sir. Beautiful weekend in New Orleans.
How you guys looking tonight? Booked up tonight, tomorrow night? What's happening at Brightson's?
Yeah, we are booked up for the weekend, Corey. Business has been strong. We're very grateful for it. I hope you plan to come see us, all y'all. Plan ahead. Call for next weekend. Come during the middle of the week. We got so much good stuff for you, including Leidenheimer French bread.
I'll tell you what, Frank. I mean, I know it's silly to say this, but piping hot Leidenheimer French bread, room temperature butter, I can knock back a loaf.
I had one last night for dinner. I brought it home and I toasted in the toaster oven and slather it with butter, and you can't beat it. We served the Leidenheimer 10-inch loaf. Some people call that a gougette, and it gets like an eggshell, crispy on the outside and warm and soft on the inside. And with that room temp whipped butter, oh my goodness, gotta have it.
Yeah, I love restaurants like yours. Either the paper bag or wrapped in a cloth napkin to keep the bread warm.
Yes, that's right. We serve it wrapped in a linen napkin, fresh out of the toaster oven, and you can't beat that. I mean, I grew up eating French bread at every meal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a New Orleans tradition, and there's nothing better than Leidenheimer.
No, you're so right. So good. It really is. And I don't know of a French bread that's going to hold a po' boy like Leidenheimer. You get all these, artisan type French breads, and they're flavorful and they're good, and I like them. But you think that bread's going to hold shrimp or oysters or roast beef? No shot.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are so many great bakers here in town. So much to choose from, and wonderful breads.
Yep.
But a po' boy's got to have French bread. You try and eat even a ham and cheese po' boy on a baguette or something, forget it.
No, of course. It's so true. Frank Brightson's with us on a Friday, as usual. What's cooking at Brightson's tonight, Frank?
Well, we got a couple of new things going on, Corey. We changed our duck presentation. We're into our fall duck dish, which is...
Hang on. I'm from oranges to cherries?
That's it. Roast duck a l'orange with dirty rice.
Wow.
Can't beat it.
And what was the sauce before the Orleans?
During the warmer months, we do our tart dried cherry sauce for the duck.
Wow.
All of my duck sauces, number one, are made with pan drippings. Like if you were making a gravy for your roast beef, you deglaze the roasting pan.
Yeah.
We do that every day with our duck pans and save what we call pan drippings. And that's what goes into the sauce. Natural juices, rich. The orange sauce starts with onions, caramelized in duck fat. And then we add orange juice, sliced oranges, that pan drippings. We add a little bit of our homemade pepper jelly. And then separately we make a caramel. And all that gets mixed together, simmered, and then strained. And it's classic French presentation, duck à l'orange.
Now I'm assuming that without the sauce, the duck is tender and juicy and moist and the skin's crispy?
Absolutely. I'm very particular about duck, and the only way I really like it is the old school way, which is slow roasted. So we roast whole ducks. They're seasoned, stuffed with onions and fresh rosemary, and we roast them for about 4.5 hours at 350. And we drain off the fat every hour so that you get those pan drippings on the bottom of the pan. And so then we debone them, and then they're reheated for service. So you get crispy skin, very tender meat, no bones, no fat.
You know what's interesting, Frank, is like when it comes to seafood and vegetables and things like that, we want like local and fresh and wild, ideally. We don't want, some farm-raised catfish. We want the DeSalmon's catfish like you serve. But when it comes to like duck or lamb or beef, we want kind of the domesticated stuff. We don't want the wild stuff. I mean, wild duck is really gamey and it can be tough and gummy, and domestic duck is sort of perfect. I don't know if we're just more used to. I know the hunters that they do something to de-emphasize that gamey duck flavor when they're cooking the ducks that they shoot. So it's, like a buddy of mine's like, I might go into the cattle business and do beef. I'm like, dude, go get prime beef from a butcher. Go get Angus beef from a butcher. I mean, you don't know what you're going to produce making a cow or any of that. So it's kind of different how when it comes to duck, we don't want wild. We want domesticated. Same with, the other beef and lamb and things like that. We don't want wild.
Yeah, that's true. I think wild duck and farm-raised duck are literally two different animals.
Totally.
And you got to treat them differently. You got to cook them differently. And of course, it's illegal to sell wild game in a restaurant too. It's got to be, farm-raised or processed, federally inspected, and all that stuff. But I only use one brand of duck. It's Maple Leaf Farms, and it's in Indiana, and it's all natural, and it's the most consistent quality, same size duck. It's the only kind I like. I've tried other brands that are available to restaurants, but Maple Leaf Farms is the best. And we had a question the other night, a server came to me, and what kind of duck is it that we serve again? So I told her, the Maple Leaf Farms, but the breed is called Pekin, Pekin, not Peking duck.
Oh.
That's a process of the way you cook it.
Yeah.
But Pekin is the breed, and it's all these ducks are supposedly derived from the original Long Island ducks.
Wow.
So they have those qualities from generation to generation.
Wow.
And it is the most consistent product in my kitchen, no question.
It's an heirloom duck.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Farmers that raise animals of any kind, it's in the breeding and the genetics. And you crossbreed, when they get started many years ago, we crossbreed or whatever you have to do to get the product that you like. And these are just perfect every single time. It's the most consistent product in my kitchen.
Yeah, you seek this stuff out. It's like the airline chicken breasts you get from Bell and Evans. They're air chilled, not dipped in chlorine bleach water. They're air chilled, no hormones during growth or anytime. So just a high quality chicken. And like the duck breast, normal in size, Frank, not these duck breasts or chicken breasts that are like 3 inches thick. I don't want to eat that.
Exactly. You know, I got nothing against like a grilled boneless duck breast. That's okay.
Yep.
But to me, it's not exciting. It doesn't showcase the natural flavor of the duck. You could be eating that blindfolded and you couldn't tell me what it was.
No, you're right. And the same thing with the chicken breast when it's boneless, skinless. But you get the airline with the little drumette hooked on and the skin with all that fat and flavor. It's night and day.
Oh, yeah. It's all about flavor, man. And you got to start with the right ingredients. And that's true with every single thing. I mean, I special order my bay leaves. So that's how picky I am.
No, I know. And I know that Rex crab boil you get made special. You're buying it.
I'm going to pick up 50 pounds next week. I got to drive over to Harvey to pick it up at the warehouse, but I will do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want.
I know. I get it. Hey, they're doing to-go orders at Brightson's. You can fire in a to-go order off their to-go menu or off the regular menu. 861-7610. They're open Tuesday through Saturday night. Booked up tonight, booked up tomorrow night. But you can still call. Maybe they'll have a cancellation. 861-7610. 861-7610. Brightson's in the Riverbend. Hey, we missing anything, Frank?
That's it, man. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. When you're planning your Halloween costume, be sure and plan what you're going to wear underneath because it's going to be cold, bro.
Yeah, I like that. Mosquito killing weather. We need it, Frank.
Yeah, and go Green Wave.
Oh, and also
against Rice tomorrow.
And also that chicken and andouille gumbo, really good when it's cold.
Absolutely. You should get a quart or two tomorrow and have it for Halloween.
You hear that, folks? Call up Brightson's and get a few quarts of that incredible chicken and andouille gumbo with Paul Prudhomme's andouille and that Bell and Evans chicken. Just you can't beat it. And it's Frank Brightson's gumbo. What more do I need to say? Frank, always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, Corey. Have a great weekend, man. Talk to you next week.
See you next Friday. Yeah, you're right, New Orleans.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Did you have any problem with Angel Reese? There was a photo of her coming off the bus, holding the phone with the...
And that was a bunch of bull. That was Photoshop, that young lady. That's social media for you. How dare somebody do that?
No, I was wondering if it was Photoshopped or if it was real.
You just got the real answer from somebody who was there.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Lebanon's Cafe is open till 9:30 tonight. Indoor dining, their climate-controlled, air-conditioned dining room, very comfortable. I dined inside the other day for lunch with a friend. To-go orders, easy phone number to remember at Lebanon's Cafe, 862-6200. 862-6200. Or dine outside under the green awning, under the oak trees, on the streetcar line. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Lebanon's Cafe, shish kebab, lamb chops, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides, Lebanon's Cafe. Priced right, authentic, large portions. Tough to beat, Lebanon's Cafe. Great weather right now. High 70s, creeping on down. Wake up tomorrow morning around 70, might get to 80. Sunday, wake up in the morning around 70, might get to 80. Great weather weekend. Monday, a little cooler, about 63 is the low. Tuesday, a little cooler, 56 is the low. Wednesday, a little cooler, 48 is the low. Thursday, a little cooler, 45 is the low. Wednesday, low temperature 48, a high of 60, maybe. It's going to be cold on Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, you right. You got to love that. You also got to like it because Tuesday night, start creeping into those comfortable temperatures for Halloween-y. Next Tuesday, Halloween, and then boom, we're already into November. Are you kidding me? Already into November. A few weeks, it'll be Thanksgiving. A few weeks after that, Christmas, New Year's, Mardi Gras, French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, and then back to summer again. I mean, it just rolls, huh? A Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock power hour. Lee Zurich and Fox 8, they do not stop, thank goodness. We need the watchdogs, the investigative reporters like Lee Zurich, like Travers Mackel and Cassie Sherm, who works under Travers at Channel 6, David Hammer at Channel 4. We need all these folks. Thank God for these award-winning investigative reporters that do a Hard job. It's not fun banging on somebody's door and then calling them out for some scam they're doing. Some of these people are idiots and lunatics, might try to get even. No, we need these watchdogs like Rafael Goyeneche with the Metropolitan Crime Commission, with like Ed Michel, Office of Inspector General, a real IG, barking and biting, not just some nonsense guy, do nothing, Derry Barry, what was that guy? Denny Barry, Derry Harper, who was the do nothing dairy guy? Jeez and Pete's, that IG was terrible. No, we need these watchdogs. And folks that question them, I'm driving in doing the show one day, I'm listening to some FM disc jockey doing talk radio, pretending, doesn't even know what he stands for. Seriously. Wishy-washy, flaky, deviant. And this guy's dogging Rafael Goyeneche and Ed Michel, like questioning their agenda. You want to know why? Because this deviant is on the side of the deviants. He had on Gregory Joseph interview him. It was a big yuck festival. It was unbelievable. Just entire head inserted up Gregory Joseph's rear end. I mean, beyond selling out. Just like comical. I'm laughing at this pathetic behavior. It's so bad, it's funny. It was so terrible, it was almost entertaining, at least for like a radio person. But they were talking about this like a month ago, Gregory Joseph, getting let go and not being to work at another city job. And the host is like, how can that be? I mean, you get rid of one job, why can't you work at another city job? It's like, so the mayor won't anoint him to another $188,000 a year BS job? What don't you get? Unbelievable. No, just lightweights, jokers. Every day you can count on me telling it like it is. Every day, no holes barred. I don't befriend the people I'm covering. I'm fortunate. I got a lot of friends and family. Don't need politician friends or rich and wealthy business people friends. Got enough natural friends. Got enough family. I'm really fortunate. I'm not kidding when I say that. Number one rule in journalism, don't befriend the people you're covering. No, so these watchdogs out there, thank God for them, because New Orleans is corrupt. So is Louisiana. These politicians, this John Ilario, Edwin Edwards, Karen Carter Peterson, Bill Jefferson. I mean, the list is endless almost. Heitmeyer brothers, it's a joke. The needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. These people setting up their friends and family, that's what they're about. They're not about civic duty, sacrifice, doing something for us. So no, I love like Lee Zurich and Fox 8 investigative reporting. The mayor using police escorts to go to concerts, events like Essence Festival. And sometimes having more police escorting the mayor around than the number of police patrolling or policing an entire district. We're a violent crime city, and the mayor's going to have a couple of Suburbans and police on motorcycles escorting her around like she's a head of state or something. Just absolutely obnoxious. Just like a child, just petty. And no honor, integrity, ethics, or morals. Just like, the old expression, like, act like you've been there before. She doesn't even understand the concept. Or if she did, she'd be like, why would I want to do that? I haven't been here before. So I'm going to take advantage of every free meal I can eat. I'm going to go on every kind of junket I can go on because I can justify it enough where I can keep doing it. And no, the city's not receiving a single dollar. And no, not a single job is being created. But I get to go to Europe and Asia and, places that I'll never be able to go on as a regular citizen because it costs money. And I'm going first class, and I'm doing it first class, and I'm putting it on the city because I can. And ethics and integrity and morals and honor, pride, self-respect, I don't know what those things are, and they're not important to me. I am a child, and I'm taking the candy while the getting's good. And that's exactly what this mayor's doing. It's crazy. A month ago, hires a criminal defense attorney, and then the very next week goes to France, and then has to shorten that trip because she forgot, I got to swear in the new police chief. Just mind-blowing. Children at play. The only benefit, about 2 years left. About 2 years left. That's all. I may start popping into those Wednesday mayor press conferences in the future. Just, I think Cassie Sherman, people like that, the Fox 8 guy, the other day, Aubrey, whatever, I thought did a fantastic job with them. Why aren't you answering our questions? I may start going to those. I will venture to say this. If I start going to the mayor's Wednesday press conferences, I'd say after 3 or 4 that I go to, the mayor will end up canceling the Wednesday press conferences. I'm serious. I'm serious. Hey, in the next few weeks, holiday season's going to be cranking up. Guys, don't blow it. You're thinking about getting her, that special someone in your life, that special gift, a diamond purchase. Don't make it 3-week-old, lab-created, man-made diamonds. Don't get fooled. You'll allow yourself to if you want to, and a lot of you want to. You want to pay less for the junky man-made diamonds that depreciate in value. You're going to kind of keep it a secret from her, and for the rest of your life, when you see her wearing the diamond stud earrings or tennis bracelet, necklace, even an engagement ring, you're going to know that you sold her out and yourself, getting her these 3-week-old man-made lab-created diamonds from China. What a joke. I don't know about you guys, but my significant other, wife, girlfriend, most important person to me in my life, when I make that diamond purchase, I want the highest quality diamonds. I want real diamonds. I want natural diamonds, 1 billion years old, the real thing. That's why I go to Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. You should too, in between Broadway and Carrollton. You can trust Ken Friend at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Like he says, you got a friend in the jewelry business. Now check this out. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, real natural diamonds, 1 billion years old, diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, diamond engagement rings. You can get those kind of purchases for thousands of dollars. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars. They've even got items at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, I'm not kidding, for north of $100,000. Real natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. And also, Ken Friend at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers has a single room with diamond stud earrings, tennis bracelet, necklaces, even engagement rings. Everything in that room, real natural diamonds, 1 billion years old, everything in that room under $1,000. They've got something for everyone at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. The most important thing, guys, you're going to be getting real natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Don't get fooled. Don't fool yourself or her. Don't get 3-week-old man-made lab-created diamonds from China. Are you kidding me? Friend & Company Fine Jewelers this holiday season for her on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Go see Ken Friend. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right, Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson, where the grass hasn't been cut in weeks or months. There's a lot of trash and garbage on the neutral ground, maybe even a person or two taking a nap. And oh, someone didn't pick up the dog
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wouldn't it be nice reimagining Bourbon Street? Why am I the only person that's ever broached this subject in the history of New Orleans? Ever? Why do we just accept things as they are? Like, it's always been like that. It'll always be like that. Bourbon Street should be like one of the jewels of the city. It's the heart of the French Quarter. Instead, it is a toilet. Strip joints and big-ass beer and daiquiri shops and prostitution and drugs. A bunch of cash businesses that don't pay their full amount of city taxes, especially those strip joints. And just not a big per dollar, customer. It's locals. It's folks from around the region. Guy pulls up in his truck from Mississippi with his girlfriend. They walk up and down Bourbon Street for a couple hours on a Saturday night, get a daiquiri too. It's like $18.56 a head. It's not worth it. We're not getting anything out of it except urine and vomit and trouble and robberies and crap. Bourbon Street should get rid of the big-ass beer, the daiquiri shops, the trinket shops, the strip joints, and reimagine Bourbon Street as a complement to Royal Street. Think about what Royal Street does. At 6 o'clock, they shut down all the antique shops. They put fencing over the windows, fencing over the doors so no drunks throw a bottle through the window. And they basically shut down Royal Street. If Bourbon Street was a bunch of jazz clubs and cafes and restaurants with outdoor dining, an outdoor street scene, lit up, police presence, open all night still, but, a higher end tourist you're bringing in. Instead of $18.50 a head, it might be $180 a head or more. And then these side streets are lit up that go to Royal, and Royal Street is going till 10, 11, 12, midnight, 1 a.m. with people going in and out of antique shops and tourists, say higher-end tourists, buying those antiques. Now, Bourbon Street should be reimagined where we would want to go to Bourbon Street. Seriously, do you know any locals that go, hey, we're going down to Bourbon Street tonight? That doesn't exist because we know better. We, the locals in New Orleans, we don't want to go to Bourbon Street. It's a toilet. It's a dump. Why do we want to go to the place you wouldn't send tourists? I'm going to get a big-ass beer or a daiquiri. I'm going to the strip joint, going to get trinkets, some T-shirt that says something profanity-laced that's just stupid. Some dopey Mardi Gras mask that isn't authentic? Why am I going down to Bourbon Street? We don't go to Bourbon Street. It doesn't generate revenue for the city the way it should. It's pennies instead of dollars. A lot of criminal activity. It stinks. It's nasty. It doesn't, hey, it's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. That doesn't have to be the mentality, that loser, second-rate New Orleans, Louisiana mentality. We can do better by reimagining Bourbon Street and making it a great street instead of a toilet that it is. There's a reason locals don't go down there. It sucks. So no, that little bit I play all the time, it's true. Time to reimagine Bourbon Street. Way overdue. Hey, you on the causeway right now? Why don't you fire in a to-go order at Trey Yen? Mom, dad, the kids, you walk in the house with a big to-go order from Trey Yen, everyone's happy. 985-626-4476. That's the number to Trey Yen. 626-4476. Curbside delivery. You pull right out front. They'll walk it right out to your car. Trey Yen. Hey, and how about dining tonight for dinner? Tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday night. You South Shore folks, it is 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall to the parking lot at Trey Yen. I'm not making it up or it's a joke. You cross the causeway, you got 10 more minutes to get there. You cross the causeway, it's about 10 more seconds to get there. Right across the lake on your left in Mandeville, basically at the foot of the causeway. You North Shore folks, at the foot of the causeway in Mandeville. Convenient for Mandeville, Madisonville, Lacombe, Covington, Bush, Folsom, wherever you are over there. Some of the best Chinese food in America. Trey Yen in Mandeville, we're blessed. Love me some Trey Yen. So good. I mentioned yesterday the whole local fresh speckled trout or the whole local fresh flounder. I mean, speckled trout and flounder, local fresh fish, maybe the best eating fish in the world. I don't know, just so good. They take those fish, they season them up, marinate them, debone the fish, both fillets, the head and tail intact. They flash fry it to perfection. You could roll that fish around on like a brown paper bag and you wouldn't see grease spots. Just perfect and absolutely wonderful, just like that. But they're just getting started. Ladles and ladles of their signature tong cho sauce, sweet yet spicy. whole tongcho speckled trout, whole tongcho flounder, Trey Yen in Mandeville, the whole fish. So good. So good. Both fillets. Wow. And that tongcho sauce. Anything, fried shrimp, spring rolls, chicken wings, barbecue pork, on fried rice. That tongcho sauce is incredible at Trey Yen. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Heck joined us in the 4 o'clock hour from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Frank Brightson joined us from his restaurant about 20 minutes ago, Brightson's in the Riverbend, talking food like we do in New Orleans. Hey, speaking of heading home for the weekend, you'll probably pass 2 or 3 Rouse's Markets on the way home. Best quality, best price, best selection. They got everything you need for the weekend, including a great wine, liquor, and beer department at every Rouse's. Rouse's Markets taste like home. What's that, Boo Boy? Tell everyone have a great weekend. See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.